Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then there's a couple places where there's still some old logs poking out of the ground, and they need to be pulled out, and some holes in the ground, and yeah, they it just needs to be kind of smoothed up a little bit. And then we can put some native grass, just throw some seed out there.
I think we should plant the oaks.
And oats. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, and then we had. Okay, good deal. The other thing is those 3 committee people. They'd really like to see those concrete structures. Those old concrete foundations that used to be where the old sawmill used to be, and they're huge. And they would like to just have an open space canopy down there so that they could, we could have community events and even some classroom. They're willing to take, hold some classroom events down there as well. And some teaching even, they could have some class down there. So.
Tell her she needs to figure out where to put the bathroom and find the money to pay for it.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Another issue that we're going to have is we'll have to install a couple of restrooms down there. And it is above there, on either end of that concrete slab. It's off of the floodplain, and so we already own one concrete latrine, and we would like to. It's over there.
Hey, Kelly.
It's over at the fairgrounds, and we just like to have that thing moved over there and installed. And it's brand new. It came from Eastern Washington where they constructed. It's never been installed. Okay. Yeah.
Is she here?
She wasn't in there.
Oh, that's why I didn't. Okay. I'm gonna put it right here in her thing.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, and then on that west end, well, then that would be the best place to have a parking lot area. And of course, and it's still got some gravel base for that, but if we can kind of figure out how big it's going to be, then we're going to have to come up with some sort of a structure that will meet FEMA requirements and then also keep people from driving in there. We don't want traffic in there anymore, so. Yeah, I think so too. No, we could just take some old cable and pull it across there. Really could, so long as it was presentable. Mhm.
48.
But, now it looks about half decent because we had a fellow go down there and he trimmed all the grass. So now it looks, looks
Plus
pretty,
county,
looks very presentable.
there's 48 million,
So anyway, what,
market value.
it is, it's got a lot of potential.
That'd be getting up to about.
Would
plus-
September 16th work for you?
It might be plus 3, whatever. The highest. is the highest.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing, this last email here, that I was gonna respond to that, and it says, no, I'm just gonna call Courtney, I just see an email from her, so that means she's still at work, and I am going to call her phone number.
They may have changed it since I was telling. Huh? What's that? It's been, no, 3 minutes now.
Okay,
And I was on the tax committee.
okay, we can do that.
But it was still
Yeah.
the same, I don't think it had changed at that time. But that's only 15 years ago, that's not very long.
Yes. Okay. High Plains, I know that they could be a part of a structure, an open structure that would be on a concrete plat. I know they could do that because we're working with them on another issue, and they do an excellent job. We've been very pleased with their work, so. Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm open, right? I'm willing to do it at any time. So what I'm gonna do is let other people respond to you and let what works for them, and then I'll just have to fit it in. Okay. Okay. Well, I'm sure I'm complaining about something. But, now that I got your phone number, well, you'll hear from me more, so, unfortunately. Okay, yeah, if we can get this weird, or this Bear Collins thing moving, that'd be very helpful, yeah. Okay.
You getting it all figured out?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Right.
So how we doing, Kelly?
I'm good, how are you?
Yeah. Anything after another.
Okay. Okay.
Now we got kind of a slow afternoon.
Well, that's kinda nice to have all that once in a while. Got
Once
the
in a
budget done, so you're not under the gun to work on that,
Okay.
so.
That's right.
Like your rough draft,
So-
I mean, it doesn't need to be really.
So did you have an active safety
just
committee
get-
when you were commissioner?
It's gonna have to
What's
be done in
that?
stages.
Did you have an active safety
And
committee?
so if we could just start in getting like a
Well,
face
we have a
cover,
safety
covering
committee, I
over
don't
the
know how
hall.
active.
Yeah, well,
and
we
some
got one.
trails
Now it's not very
that
active,
would be
but
beneficial to the
Insurance
community.
company like to know.
That's a good start, especially for the first year or two. And then, of course, you
If
can
you've
also
got
talk
the
about
committee, it's
rejuvenation,
considered active because they act on their need.
native vegetation
Yeah.
rejuvenation
But,
down there, that's
um,
fine too, but,
There's some things that you
Yeah.
should probably do, like you have a talk with the road department once
Uh-huh.
a year or something, just go out there and,
well, they have their
They're
own
with
safety
time.
meeting once a
yeah,
month. But
Yeah.
yeah,
I'd just go to
and
one of those,
Okay.
and show some interest, but
I'm
if they're
open to
doing
that,
it,
definitely.
that's probably, you know, you've got safety meetings with the road department.
Yeah,
The sheriff's department, I would think, would be having one.
you would think, yeah.
And the fire
Mhm.
department, I know,
Yeah.
does safety training all the time, ongoing, so,
So each department probably.
yeah. And so, I don't know, other departments where you'd have much exposure would be maybe some around the courthouse.
Yeah,
Would the county attorney quit?
well, yeah. Yeah, he got
Me too.
fed up.
Being
Yeah.
closer to his
Yeah.
family.
No, let's talk
Or
about
is it-
that.
He was from Lewistown or
Yes,
something.
yeah, yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Because we've talked about that too, so,
Yeah.
It's a divorce and he wants to be closer to his children.
yeah.
Can't deny him that.
Well, I understand.
Yeah.
Kind of leaves this county in a lurch. It's hard to find
Yeah.
somebody. We were in that position a couple of times.
We have all kinds of,
when we
yeah,
were
yeah, well, you know, we've already got,
2 or
we've
3
got soccer
times.
fields, we've got,
It's kind of-
Well, it'd been,
you know,
it'd been a little
tennis,
easier to
tennis
take
courts
if you
and
want
things,
such a
so
good
it's not like we're
It's
looking
been
for
real good.
more.
Yeah.
real attentive.
So, we can,
And what do we ask?
it's, that area is a natural area. and
That's
you know,
the
it's
problem
gonna be a
that we
small
always
area.
had was, we didn't have enough money to hire another
Okay.
attorney or, you know, to
Yeah.
hire a deputy and.
Alright,
He'd do 3 days for Muscle Shoals County and 2 for Golden
Okay.
Valley.
Yeah.
Mhm.
you have a great
And he didn't
weekend.
do anything at Golden Valley, so it was a
You
day
took care
off.
I see.
Well, I shouldn't really say that because
Yeah.
he did do some, and he did some civil things, but as a county commission back then, we could ask him anything we wanted, we never got an answer, so.
Yeah, well, we're looking for another attorney.
Yeah, yeah. It's just,
And it's stuff where you don't have anybody living there, so they gotta move here,
Mhm.
here or Rygate or Lavina or somewhere to
That's
do it.
right. That's always a problem.
Melstone, Muscle Shell, they could go, as long as they're in the district, it
So they
works.
live in Golden Valley?
they could live in Golden Valley.
Huh?
They could live in Golden Valley.
Yeah, yes, they could. They could live anywhere in either county.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things that Ben found out when he moved here was that there's a lot more opportunity here for recreation and, you know, it's got a very pleasant living,
Mm-hmm.
area.
Yeah, he liked it.
Yeah.
He
You
says,
could
hey,
say
this is a much better place than I ever would have guessed.
Mhm.
Excellent hunting and fishing, great recreation, I mean, lots more places to go recreate.
Yeah, not a lot of murders.
Nothing to go to Billings.
Yeah,
You're
that's,
close to a big city if you wanna run down there and do something.
Yeah.
yeah, you're close, you're close and living in Billings, for example, I know there's a lot of work there, but
Too expensive.
there's lots of criminal work there.
Criminal
Yeah.
I made a remark to Sean one day, that Billings is getting to be terrible, there's almost knifing or shooting every
Yeah.
day. He said,
Oh,
oh
it
yeah,
is?
there's 5.
Fine.
It's, yeah, they got about 1,500 a year in Yellowstone County.
Yeah.
Little Chicago.
It's really gotten bad now. And I'm sure most of it's drug related.
It is.
Oh, yeah. It is. Well, they're getting gangs in Billings too, Larry.
Yeah.
So,
It's gonna get worse, I'm afraid.
I don't know. We've had some murders and some
yeah,
pretty bad crimes in this county in the last 50 years too.
but they were all friendly murders.
Oh, yeah.
They had it coming.
I think, I don't remember what the people's name was, but there was a couple and they came into the mill and bought lumber and built a house and out there and all of a sudden they moved back to Oregon. Well, she moved back to Oregon and put him in the outhouse, cut him in pieces and put him in the outhouse.
Oh, no.
And they sold the property, some realtor sold the
Yeah.
property and whoever bought it happened to go and look and it smelled kind of rough in there, so they took a look down the hole. There was arms and legs and stuff.
Oh, my God, Freddie.
Great.
Shucks.
Must've been a while back.
That, yes, that's been a long time. That was probably in the late seventies and
Yeah.
that.
Hmm. Well, that don't happen all every day.
I hope not.
We don't have any outhouses.
And
Well, I'm
then,
sure they do out
You
where
think?
people don't wanna pay for septic, or people don't want sewer, and
We don't allow outhouses in the county.
doesn't mean they don't have them.
That's true. Doesn't mean they don't have them. I've got one out in my shop. I use it quite often. It's been there ever since I bought the place.
There you go, see?
Huh? I'm keeping up with everything?
no,
No.
get old, you slow down.
I've noticed that. Not for Williams, I'll tell you that. Well, yeah, well, Bob went home already. Well, he's going to Solutions by ties. You don't have railroad ties down there?
No, and when those guys started doing that, they had a pretty good corner
Oh, yeah.
on the buying side of it,
Yeah.
so they'd get them for a good price, and all these ones you see around, like Kilby Buttes usually got some for sale, and they just go buy them from him.
Yeah.
But for somebody that wants two, it saves them driving 150 miles to get them.
Mhm.
Yeah, I bought a whole semi though for the Kilby Butte colony here about 4 or 5 years ago. Well, doing all that, splitting up all them pastures and everything. I used it for buffer walls around the water tanks too.
Yeah.
I paid $3 a piece for them.
The thing is, if you go to buy some of those, you need to watch it. That oil-borne tree,
Yeah,
you put it in the ground or on the ground, and it leaches out of the wood and
Mhm.
sterilizes the film ground around the wood, and that's what actually protects it.
yeah,
It isn't the fact that you can still see it if it's gonna dry down, it won't leach out. You're not gonna get any good out of it. But if you took those ties and put some oil or diesel fuel or anything, any petroleum oil on
yeah,
them, and got them wet again, then you'd have enough leach, that'd carry enough out that it'd do a pretty good job.
yeah.
But so many times you go buy a used tie and it looks pretty nice, but then you put it in the ground, 5 years later, it's rotted off.
Yeah, a lot of them, they're split.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually there's a reason they
They
took
pulled
them
it
out.
out.
And that,
Yeah.
so the only time you get the good ones is when they take a spur line out or something. And-
Yeah,
And there's always some split ones and bad ones, but then there's some nice ones.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Sometimes you get the ones where they redo a crossing, a road crossing.
oh, the long ones.
Long ones that they're
Yeah.
usually 18 foot or sometimes 24 foot, but a lot of times they're pretty good shape other than they're worn from the traffic tracks on
Yeah.
them. So they got some little scallops to them, but they're pretty nice pieces of wood.
Well, I've got those old clammers, railroad salvage.
That's who's so over Salacious.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, he made a good business out of that.
Yeah.
Tear out them old railroad spurs, cause they were all, taking them all out there in the 70s and 80s, they were, and he'd get the rails and the ties just to haul them off. Get them out of there. And so he had a hell of a lot of ties.
You know that when Texaco, when they put that pipeline in and Texaco pulled their dock out at Gage,
Yeah,
they oh shoot, Place Milton's got, those guys got the rails and the ties.
oh really?
Yeah, and then when they sold the place, I bought a truckload of rails from them.
Yeah.
They still had them laying out there in the weed patch.
Oh, really?
Went out there with the log truck and dug them out of the dirt and, yeah, but anyway, the dock, they had a dock there where,
Yeah.
that was pretty high and made out of big timbers, and my dad got that. Because nobody else wanted anything to do with pulling those spikes this long out of them.
That would be a job. Yeah. So would you have to do that?
No, well, I don't know, I might have helped a little bit with it, but, I did, there were barrels of those spikes left, they were square spikes.
Yeah.
1/2 inch by 1/2 inch or 5/8 by 5/8 or something.
Wow.
And I used them to nail the logs together on my house, I put
Oh,
over
really?
2 ton of those spikes in my walls.
Pretty solid then.
Yeah, and that was a job, I beat those all in with a sledgehammer.
But that took you a couple of days.
Yeah. It was a slow process.
But permanent.
Yeah, it's probably the most earthquake-proof home in Muscle County.
I would guess.
I poured the basement walls a foot thick and
Yeah.
put 5/8 rebar in them and horizontally every 2 feet and vertically every 2 feet.
Wow.
And then I put 2 5/8 rebars and 2 railroad rails around the footings on
She's solid.
it.
Huh. Well, you didn't go halfway.
Well, what I did, I put the logs on the outside of the foundation and the joists on the inside. That's why I poured it so thick, so I had a solid place to put the floor joists. And most of the log houses, they put the floor on, then put the logs on top of the floor.
Yeah.
And by doing it that way, I had the logs down on the cement and the floor joists as
Cool.
well.
You thought this all out, huh?
Well,
Do you have an engineer?
you know, I built that area dry kiln so that I didn't have to have a boiler operator.
Yeah.
And so they kept trying to figure out how to get it shut down, and they sent the fire marshal and just a couple DEQ guys down to check it out. And I'm talking to them, and they said, well, we'd like to see that when it's running sometime. I said, well, it's running now if you want. Well, all we're interested in really is the emissions coming out of it, and all there is some heat waves coming out of it that we can see. So anyway, the fire marshal, he wanted to look at it.
Yeah.
And we get over there, he said, how did you get this to burn so clean? I said, well, if you think about it, you know, down at Coal Strip, they were after him because of the smoke coming out of the stacks.
Yeah.
And so they added in a secondary burn.
Oh.
So they put the air in the bottom and then they reburned the smoke. So that's what I did. I put about 20 or 24, I don't remember how many pipes, little pipes that go in and they swirl it so it mixes it up. So you get oxygen mixed with it again and then it burns it up again.
Clever. Afterburner.
Yeah, but now those plants, they do the primary, secondary, and then a tertiary burn, so
To get it.
mine's only got 2.
I see.
I didn't worry about
Well, you got time. Well, you found everything out. No more than I'd expected.
it. Yeah, that, they never came back again.
I'll bet not. Well, my foundation walls are 13 inches thick,
That's heavy duty too.
but that's some foam blocks. You've seen them foam?
Mhm.
And I put 8 inches of concrete in the middle and then all the rebar. I wouldn't have had to go that wide, I bought an old semi load of them blocks and started putting up the foundation. It took a bunch. But,
Well, and that, no, what the hell, there's a guy up here in that airport subdivision built one of those houses.
oh, completely, yeah.
The whole house,
Yeah, they were doing that. They built them right up to the beams,
Yeah.
right up to the top.
Yeah,
All
that's,
concrete,
that's what he did,
and they're insulated and,
yeah. He's been in the mill and bought some paneling and,
well,
you know, to dress the inside up
hmm,
and then that one's got some steel beams, some I-beams,
yeah.
14 inch I-beams in it that he bought, tongue groove paneling and then covered them,
Mm.
so it's dressed it up some, so it didn't look quite so much like a
Well, I
shop.
was looking at it, well, they just come out with those things, and I went to the dealer over there, and he showed me a couple of houses that he built. Oh, yeah. Well, I don't think I'll go that far. But it wasn't, I put 9-foot walls in my basement, also it took a little bit. But I made a mistake, see? They have a plastic strip in them ever so far.
Hmm.
And that's so you can screw the drywall to it or whatever, you know. But when I do bricks, I offset them. And I thought, well, that's, you know, makes it stronger wall. And that's when I did the whole thing offset. Well, then when I'm gonna put the sheetrock on, how do you find those strips? They're not lined up.
Yeah,
But did it, but it made it a lot harder.
yeah,
But the wall was a little more stable, I think.
Yeah.
yeah. Of course, it really wouldn't matter if you put the cement and rebar in there, once you got that,
Yeah,
you had the stability, so.
that's true. Yeah. And I had the pumper truck come in, and the guy says, well, you don't wanna build it up too much in one spot, you keep moving back and forth, so so it dries a little bit. Otherwise, he said, it'll blow the wall out, and I'm sitting there, here it comes. Jeez, I didn't have time to move it. I mean, he was pumping concrete. I had a 42-foot fall, was 42 foot long, and we put up more braces, but it worked, but got it done.
I've only had about one of those kind of disasters.
Oh, yeah?
It, I don't recall, it wasn't a very tall wall either, but it wasn't braced up good enough.
Yeah.
And it's got,
But it's a good wall.
it's fine, it does, serves the purpose, it was, it's a treatment plant.
Oh,
I got a tank to catch anything that drips out of the door,
oh,
and, it needed to have triple containment, so
yeah.
I got the tank and I got a neoprene liner in it, and I got cement, and I got barriers every place through the joint with cement, so it didn't hurt anything other than it's just got
Just-
wiggle.
A little wiggle. Yeah, still works. Oh, well.
That's an interesting thing too, I did that and they weren't requiring additional containment, and I thought, well, then they came with 2 after I'd done it, then a while later they came with triple containment, so I was,
Behind times, huh?
no, I was up to date, but it's kinda interesting, cause the EPA in past years didn't care how hard it was on industry when they did things. And
Yeah.
I don't know if they got a different opinion now than they did then, but